Hello, I'm Hal Ottaway with the Wichita Postcard Club, and it's time once again for a postcard of the week. Just a few weeks ago in early November, we had Dennis McBurney give our November 6th, I think it was, our club meeting presentation that's on YouTube now. You can go and see that, review it. But he was talking about a checklist of postcards, and one of his most recent checklists that he did with Morgan Williams and Patrick Clement and a number of collectors all around the country. But they were able to checklist these postcards by a Frank D. Conard, Conard, from Garden City, Kansas. Garden City's in western Kansas. It's the home of a lot of what went on during the Dust Bowl, during the Great Depression times. Just really horrible, awful dust storms and infestations of grasshoppers and jackrabbits and horrible things that happened to the farmers and the people that were trying to eke out a living in that part of the state. Well, Mr. Conard was kind of a humorous guy. He trying to put the best side on things, and so he decided to make several series of postcards. One had to do with the dust storms, and that was something that was just horrific. And he would take his camera out and see the dust storm coming and coming and getting closer to a community. And he was taking staged photographs, making those into postcards, and then people were able to buy them for usually about a nickel, I think, at the time, and to send them to friends and family in other parts of the country. And they became documentaries, so to speak, for what was happening in this Dust Bowl time. The infestation of grasshoppers was so bad. I mean, they would just come in swarms and destroy crops, corn and wheat and anything that was growing, whether it be the vegetable garden near the farmer's house. All of these things were just, it was really, really bad. Well, Mr. Conard tried to put the light side on that, and so he started making bigger life size or human sized grasshoppers with humans. He was putting them both together, kind of the Photoshop of the day, but he was doing it with at his photo studio there in Garden City and making blow ups of the grasshoppers and then having people in the in doing people things, whether it's a radio announcer interviewing a grasshopper or a grasshopper pushing a baby pram or a carriage with a little kid in the in the seat of the carriage. But lots of really really funny grasshopper, bigger than life. He had them racing a Trailways bus across the state. And most of these, or many of them, happened and were made during the dirty 30s, the 1930s. Then all of a sudden, in the late or in the early 1940s, we had World War II. And so there were a few of the big grasshopper postcards that were documented with a soldier riding a grasshopper like you would a horse or a bucking bronco, things along those lines. And another topic that he was there to document was this jackrabbit problem. Just horrible again, eating the crops and destroying them. And what they did was to try to corral these jackrabbits so they could actually get rid of them and so they wouldn't be there devouring the crops. Well, the postcard of the week that I wanted to show you was a postcard from, says right on the front in the upper right, souvenir of Oakley, Kansas. And this would have been a postcard that he made there at his shop in Garden City, Kansas. And this was called Striped Rabbits. And you look real close and you can see these are rabbits with stripes on them. That must have been kind of unique to Oakley. You know, you just never know about what might have happened, or what photographs don't lie. It's like people say now, well, I heard it on the internet. Well, here you can see it in this postcard. There were rabbits with stripes on them. And that's what it's called, Striped Rabbits, a Rabbit Drive. But wait, look here. You see stripes on the ground, too. Well, you know what? Maybe this is one of those things that over here on the right side, you see what looks like snow fence. They would have had this snow fence that they would have been bringing closer and closer together to round up these rabbits, and I think that's probably what he was getting at. And maybe the setting sun coming through this snow fence, that's probably how he captured this all these rabbits and the ground in the foreground with stripes. But leave it to Mr. Connor to get in there and do something unusual and put a light side even on something as grim as a rabbit drive itself. But this is one of those documentary postcards from western Kansas, and it's part of our history and part of the folklore for this part of the state. And we thank the Connors, and we thank Dennis McBurney and Morgan Williams and Patrick Clement and all these friends that came out with this wonderful checklist. And you can hear all about it and see it too on this early November program that we did just a couple of weeks ago for the Wichita Postcard Club. It's all here on YouTube. Give us a like on YouTube as well as on Facebook. And we thank you for coming, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody.